All right, here we go. First episode of the Double Play Tag Team Podcast. This is going to be a father-son podcast video show on YouTube and other places, talking about our favorite things, pro wrestling and sports, mostly professional, right? As you can tell, we are diehard Philly fans, really excited for the NFC Championship game tomorrow, and also PSU alum. So we're a Penn State family, so apologize in advance if we're a little biased here when we talk about things. My name is Jim. I'm Dad.
My name is Ethan. I'm the son.
All right. And so Ethan's going to be putting together our outlines of the shows every time we have one and choosing the topics and the talking points. So let's go. I think, what are we doing first?
Saturday night's main event.
Saturday night's main event. All right. That's coming up in a couple hours, isn't it?
Yep. So first, we have Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title.
Okay. We're going right to the World Heavyweight title fight.
So we're going to do picks first.
We're gonna pick. Mm-hmm. We're gonna pick. Okay, so who do you got winning the match?
I have Jey Uso because I think that he came close last time, but I think Jimmy Uso actually interfered. He was about to beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight title, but Jimmy Uso interfered.
Okay.
So I have Jey Uso winning now that Jimmy and Jey are on both sides, but
was it Jimmy or was it the New Bloodline?
It might have been the New Bloodline.
I think it might have been Jacob Fatu.
I have a feeling that Jimmy is just he hasn't been involved with the Bloodline since the War Games. I have that little feeling that Jimmy's going to interfere, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, so you think he might interfere to help his brother?
Yeah.
Well, I could see that. That'd be pretty cool. All right, well, as much as I would like to see Jey finally win a world title, I don't think it's going to happen. Especially this close to building up WrestleMania, I think it's going to end up being Gunther. Would be pretty cool if they shock the world and Jey walks out with the title, because they could always do something over the next couple months, and leading up to WrestleMania. Who knows how that goes? But I think Gunther's going to hold on to it. However, I have no idea what the plans are going to be for Gunther going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, because you have. Who knows who's going to be in the Elimination Chamber? John Cena's obviously going to be in the Elimination Chamber. John Cena's going to be in the Rumble. But since John Cena, this is his last go, I don't have him winning a title. Because he's 47, 46, and he's just... this is his last year, so why have him hold the title? But I think the fans want him to win the record-breaking title. I want it to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen for John Cena.
It would be pretty cool if it did, and I got to say, beating Gunther would be a nice way to do it at WrestleMania, but we'll see. All right, so what else you got on that sheet?
So we have, will anyone interfere? Will Ludwig Kaiser interfere? Will the New Bloodline interfere or anything? Because I don't necessarily think they're going to get too involved because Roman already won Tribal Combat, but what's yours?
Maybe nobody interferes.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bloodline's going to interfere. I think they're done with dealing with their family as far as the original Bloodline, for now at least. You made a good point about Kaiser, though. Mm-hmm. Kaiser might interfere.
Because he was in a feud with Sheamus.
Yeah.
But now we haven't seen him in the past month or something. Mm-hmm. So, next match, we have Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. Who do you got winning?
I think Rhea's going to retain this. Mm-hmm. I can't see her.
I have Rhea too.
Yeah, I don't see her losing this close to WrestleMania.
But it would be pretty cool if she if she goes to WrestleMania as the champion again. But, you know what I mean? Or, I think, as a talking point, Candice LeRae. Because she's been on Nia Jax's side. She could turn into a Tiffany Stratton to Nia Jax. She could be she could try to help Nia Jax, and then she'll end up, blowing it or something. And then, we haven't seen Dominic in a while either. Dominic and Liv were on SmackDown last night for all that stuff for the Royal Rumble. So Liv's entering the Royal Rumble. Naomi's in it. Bianca's in it. I don't know if Nia said it, but I think Candice LeRae is in it too. and Bayley is.
So I think you make a good point about Candice LeRae. They haven't shown whether or not Candice LeRae also moved to SmackDown along with Nia Jax. So who knows? Maybe she has, maybe she hasn't. But then you talked about Dirty Dom and Liv. They're always up to no good. They could possibly get involved too.
Yeah.
Not every match has to have interference. So who knows? Maybe that's going to happen. But I definitely do think Rhea retains.
Yeah. So next match, we have Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. That's going to be a heck of a match because they're just behemoths. Jacob Fatu is out of his mind, and Braun Strowman's just 6'8", has biceps of as big as a tire.
Big meaty men slapping meat, as Big E likes to say.
So it's going to be a heavyweight battle, definitely. Honestly, I have a prediction that the ring's going to break because back in the day, Saturday Night's Main Event, the ring always used to break.
Well,
because back in the day, you know what I mean?
So I don't remember it happening on Saturday Night's Main Event, but
I'm just talking, it doesn't have to be on Saturday Night's Main Event. It could just be anywhere back in the day.
Sure.
Because it happened way more back in the day with the not advanced rings and stuff.
Sure. I will say, but right before you said that, it's funny you said it because I was going to say I definitely think something's going to break, whether it's a table or the ring or something, the barricade, something somewhere is going to get destroyed during that thing because it's going to be mayhem. Who do you got winning?
It's going to be a tough one, but I have Jacob Fatu. He has more athleticism, and he's not that much smaller than him. So he has more athleticism, and he's just way faster and all that, and he could just do all this. And Braun Strowman's just stronger, you know what I mean? So who knows? He could be up going for a moonsault, and he could catch him.
Who knows how that could happen. I will say I also think Jacob Fatu wins. This is kind of like his first big match as a singles competitor since coming to the WWE. And I also think, it's Tama Tonga, right? Mm-hmm. He's been pounding around with him still, even though Solo kind of went MIA last week. What about Tonga Loa? Right? He's been out with an injury. Yeah, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
So maybe he kind of shows up unexpectedly, and it takes three of them to take down, the monster. Who knows? But I think Jacob's going to end up winning.
And at the end of the match, is Solo going to come out or do anything? Because last SmackDown he was on it, he just walked out because...
What's going on with Solo?
Because he was just walking out because everybody was booing him, and then Jacob Fatu picked up the mic after he left and he was like, everybody shut up, he's my tribal chief and stuff. But he started talking. I haven't seen Jacob Fatu talk in the mic that confident and stuff.
I just have no idea what Solo's got going on.
Yeah.
Curious to see how that plays out. He's never been in a Royal Rumble match yet.
Yeah.
He's been in the WWE for how many years now, and he hasn't been in a Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. I wonder if he ends up being a surprise entrant.
Yeah. He'll be one of those that don't declare or something.
Yeah.
Because the Royal Rumble at least has 10 people who don't declare for the exciting part of it.
Usually.
Yeah. So next up, we have Braun Breaker versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. We haven't seen a lot of this on the newer Raws on Netflix, or even before that. They just booked it because, Sheamus just won at the IC title. I don't have anything on it, though. Because
there hasn't been a whole lot of story behind this match. Now, they did have a couple matches, right? A couple months ago, they had a couple series of matches, and Kaiser was involved and stuff like that.
They had a triple threat at this one pay-per-view. I think it was actually last Saturday Night's Main Event, maybe. It was a triple threat, Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser.
So, fun fact, I think the Intercontinental title is the one title in WWE Sheamus hasn't won yet.
Yeah.
And so
that means he's a Grand Slam champion.
Right. So he needs that to become a Grand Slam champion, I think, unless the United States qualifies him. I'm not sure how that works exactly. But he definitely is a Hall of Fame.
He beat John Cena, too, back in the...
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, but he has that one title that he hasn't gotten yet. I could see it happening. Maybe he wins the title and they have a rematch at WrestleMania or something like that, or Braun moves on to something else. But you made a good point that the IC title has kind of been
ever since Sammy and Braun at
it really hasn't been.
SummerSlam, it hasn't been anything.
Yep, I agree.
So, who do you got winning? I know we haven't had a lot on it, but
I think Sheamus ends up winning the title.
yeah, because I think Sheamus will win. I think Sheamus will win, but I think it's just going to be a not that much viewed match. You know what I mean? Not that, you know what I mean? Like, because WWE hasn't done anything on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. That might be the match that people are getting popcorn or something because there hasn't been that much build up for it. Mm-hmm. But hopefully not. I think they could surprise us though. Those guys are gonna put on a banger.
Yeah. So I haven't wrote anything on it, but the Shawn Michaels managed contract signing, but for the undisputed title, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes. I think that they sign. Cody signs a contract, and then Kevin, signs it, and then they just start brawling.
Most contract signings end up in a fight, right?
Yeah, and then Kevin takes over, and he starts pushing Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels gives him a heartbreak kick.
Oh, you mean Sweet Chin Music?
Yeah, Sweet Chin Music.
Oh, man. I would love to see Sweet Chin Music. That would be fun. It makes you wonder, how, out of all the people they could have picked to host the contract signing, why HBK? Yeah. I'm curious how that's going to play into things. It's very interesting. So we'll see how that goes.
So next, we have the NFL.
Okay.
Championships. We're going to start off with Bills and Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 1.5 according to ESPN. So who do you got winning the game?
My heart says the Bills.
Yeah.
That's what my heart says. I would love to see the Bills finally get that monkey off their back and get past the Chiefs and play in a Super Bowl. As you could tell by my shirt, and we mentioned already, I don't want to see them win a Super Bowl unless it ends up being Bills Commanders, which hopefully it's not. But I would love to see the Bills do it. However, if I'm making a pick and I had to put money on it, how do you bet against the Chiefs?
Yeah, at this point. So you have the Chiefs.
I do think they'll end up pulling out a tight game.
It's tough. Josh Allen beat them in the regular season, but he has a good record all time against them in the regular season. But playoff Chiefs are way better than regular season Chiefs. I mean, since the last time they played, they got Hollywood Brown back, they got Isaiah Pacheco back, they got playoff Mahomes and playoff Kelsey. Kelsey went for 116 yards and a touchdown against the Texans.
It is kind of crazy.
And he was averaging 90 yards a game in the regular season.
It is kind of crazy how the Chiefs can almost sleepwalk through a regular season to the number 1 seed and then all of a sudden turn it on and be lights out after a bye in the playoffs.
I want the Bills to win. I think it's going to be a close game. I have the Bills losing to the Chiefs 34-31. I think that Josh Allen puts together a good drive, and then it's just going to end in a fumble or an interception to seal the game. I just feel that way.
I can see that happening. It's definitely going to be a close one.
Yeah, definitely.
Either
Every
way.
game between them has been a close one.
Yeah, it has been. And I can't remember, in the regular season when the Bills beat them, were they in Arrowhead or were they in Buffalo?
I think they were in Arrowhead.
Okay, so they
maybe.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
I'm not sure.
Let me check that, actually. Let me look that up while we're talking so we could. I'm just curious because I think that kind of might make me a little more confident in the Bills.
Because if they beat them in Arrowhead, that's where they're going to play. But 9 points isn't that big of a deficit for playoff Chiefs.
That was in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, okay.
Yeah, so that was in Buffalo, and that was a 9-point win by the
All
Bills.
right, so my talking point is, can Josh Allen get over the hump?
Can he?
Yes.
He can. Will he? I don't know.
I think, when you consider hump, I would say, the Bills' defense is going to be the one that decides it all, because I know Josh Allen's going to play really good. Just Patrick Mahomes has better weapons. You know what I mean? James Cook is a sleeper running back. I think, in my opinion, he's a top 5 running back in the league.
He can make a difference in that game. if he's being able to average like 6 yards a carry
But
or
the
something.
thing is, Isaiah Pacheco on the Chiefs has never lost a playoff game.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay. Well, maybe he will tomorrow.
So next, we have the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
The one we are most worried about.
Yep. So they have us by 6 points. Philadelphia by 6 points.
That's the spread right now? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know if it changed. I saw something. It was ESPN by 6, and then it was like CBS by 4.5.
Well, those lines, they're reporting the spreads that are set by the Vegas casinos, right? And so it fluctuates, though. I think the game opened at 4.5, Eagles by 4.5. Then it went to 6.5. It might be 6 now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm not sure what it is at the moment.
All right. Wait. Oh, yeah. So we have picks. Who do you think's going to win?
Eagles. I honestly think the Eagles are going to crush them.
Well, yeah.
And I know it probably sounds biased, but
If you think about it, we were up by 14 when Jalen Hurts left the game, 21-7 in the second quarter, second quarter.
That game was on its way to being a blowout before Hurts got knocked out.
Yeah. And did you see what the Commanders DC said?
I did. Which, okay, that's football, though. If a quarterback's going to run, they should expect to get hit. But the way he said it and the way he answered that question.
And they're making the Eagles want to hit Jaden Daniels now.
Exactly.
Because everybody knows that Jalen Hurts is tougher than Jaden Daniels. No offense to Jaden Daniels. He's stud quarterback.
But Jalen Hurts is
Yeah.
like, when it comes to toughness, he's right there at the top of the league.
Like Josh Allen. And
Yeah. So go ahead.
I have the Eagles winning this game. It's going to be at least by 10 points.
I think so, too. I could see it being something like a 33-20 game or something
I'm
like
not
that.
trying to be biased or anything, but it's just that
The Eagles are the better
Eagles,
team.
yeah.
No one's going to disagree
if
with
you
that.
look on paper, they're better. If you look at the game, they beat them earlier in the season.
And they were on
And
their way
they're
to winning before Hurts got hurt in the second
And they
game.
are on their way to winning.
Yeah.
So, and my talking points are Jalen Hurts. And then we're going to get to Jaden Daniels' surprise.
Okay.
So, Jalen Hurts. Everybody's saying his knee's bad. But, you have to say, he didn't do that bad in the game where he got his knee hurt in the final quarter. He didn't do bad.
He didn't. I think if you remember, he didn't run at all after that, right? So
He did bootleg to both sides.
That's a good sign, right? Yep. And he was a full participant of practice too.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on the injury report yesterday.
They're just making a big deal about it because he was limited in Wednesday.
Yeah, but that's normal
Yeah.
after having an injury and probably went through.
Quinyon Mitchell is going to be ready to go too, by the way.
I know, and that has me really excited to have him back and have everybody 100%. They're basically 100% across the board on defense, except for the guys that are out long term, like Brandon Graham and Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean's a big hit to the defense.
He is, but Warren Burke stepped up last week.
Yeah.
He did play really well.
And then they're criticizing Jalen for not having passing yards. But even Dan Orlovsky made a point where Jalen Hurts in the losses had more than 220 yards a game. In the wins, he had 120. He had 180 or less. So, and you have an all-pro running back. You have the best running back in the league. He went for a 78-yard touchdown last week.
It makes sense when if you're losing a game and you're trying to make a comeback and win, you're going to throw more.
Yeah.
That's just normal football. So that kind of stat, I don't understand what they're trying to point at there. I guess they're trying to say that Hurts doesn't win games, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He's more than capable. This whole Jalen Hurts disrespect thing really bugs me. He's
not just as a Philly fan.
Not just as a Philly fan.
If you're just a regular NFL fan who doesn't like any team, just likes to watch football, they would agree.
He's done nothing but win since he became a starter. He has one of the best winning percentages of all starters over the last 4 years, if not.
And earlier in the season, I don't even know what the Nick Sirianni talk was.
Well, I will say, going into the season,
he did yell at a fan, but
you're talking about that kind of stuff, like his attitude and everything like that. Yeah, and that's because they weren't winning, right?
Yeah.
They were 2-2. They were 500. So when you're not winning, everything that you do is going to be magnified and under a microscope. And so when you don't win a game, and you're arguing with fans at the same time. But I think that ended up being that wasn't even an argument anyway. He came out and said, like, no, the fan was just egging me on, like, about running the ball or something like that. And so he turned around and said, see, we can run the ball. And that's all. I mean, that's not a big deal.
So then we have the Jaden Daniels surprise. No one thought he was going to be this good. Well, they thought he was going to be the best QB in the draft. I have to admit, that draft class wasn't one of the best.
No, it wasn't.
It has the potential to be one of the best. But as talent-wise, this season, it wasn't that good.
I will say, you talking about specifically quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, Drake May looked really good.
He looked good, and then.
But it's just that he's on the Patriots. They have no weapons. I'm not trying to blame the Patriots or anything. I think they're going to do decent next year with Mike Vrabel.
Yes. As far as Jaden Daniels being a surprise, I don't think it's a surprise that he's as good as he is. I think it's a surprise that he was as good as he is in the NFL this fast. I think a lot of people thought he was going to eventually be this good. I just don't think anybody thought he'd be this good already.
Coming out of the draft, I always like running quarterbacks that could also throw.
Well, yeah, because it's
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody bought the hype. He was throwing these sidearm passes in preseason, but that's in preseason. And there's no fans. There's not a whole fan base in preseason. Jaden Daniels did terrific in preseason and in the regular season, so. And everybody Caleb Williams was put in a good position, and when Jaden Daniels wasn't. I don't even think Jaden Daniels was in that bad of a position. 4-13, they hired a new coach. They got a new GM. They got Marshawn Lattimore. Well, he hasn't been anywhere, but they got a lot of pieces. They got a lot of veterans to help out the team, like Bobby Wagner. They drafted that Mike Sanderstill kid. He's really good. He had like 3 interceptions against the Lions.
So they definitely did a great job turning their franchise around in 1 year.
And I'm not trying to put it all on Jaden Daniels either. They're all doing breakout seasons.
Yeah.
But Jaden Daniels is the main one because he's a rookie.
Yep, sure.
Mike Sanderstill's a rookie too.
Yeah, what was he there? Was he their second or third round pick?
Second
round pick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm concerned about going into tomorrow's game is, I think Frankie Louvu is a little bit of a dirty player. This didn't get talked about a lot, but the last time when they were playing the Commanders, when he would tackle Barkley after Hurts got knocked out, there were times where I would see him like twisting Barkley's leg, coming up off the ground and stuff like that. And that kind of stuff is just like, I don't know. There's no reason for it.
When people do dirty stuff that's not when it's not prohibited in the NFL, they just fine them. Like, that's not going to make a big deal. They'll get fined again if they want to hurt the player.
Speaking of fines, and I know this changes the subject, but it's pretty funny. Did you see how Joe Mixon got fined for something that he didn't even say?
What?
So T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who's a former wide receiver, and he played most of his career with the Bengals, and Mixon was with the Bengals before. Yeah. He was watching the Texans-Chiefs game, and T.J. Houshmandzadeh sent out a tweet about the refs. He said the refs were trash in his tweet and questioning the calls that were going in favor of the Chiefs. And for whatever reason, Joe Mixon got fined for somebody else tweeting that. And then so Joe Mixon put out a tweet complaining about being fined by the NFL for something he didn't say, and then they fined him for that and didn't even take back the first fine. How crazy is that? I don't know. The NFL's got to get their stuff together with how they're treating the players and how they're doling out some of these fines and the leeway that referees are getting on bad calls. I just wanted to throw that out there when you mentioned fines. I thought that was pretty funny from this week. So going back to what you were talking about with the Commanders,
getting new pieces,
getting all their franchise back together. Unfortunately, they're in our division, and they're going to be there for a while. I don't see that changing. The good news is, I'd rather it be between the Eagles and the Commanders than the Eagles and Dallas, or the Eagles and Giants every year. The Commanders are probably, out of the 3 other teams in the division, the ones I dislike the least.
I don't even think they're gonna draft Ashton Genty for
Who's
everybody. Cowboys. They have everybody. Every mock draft has them drafting Ashton Genty. But what about Rico Dowdle? He had a 1,000-yard season. He's only a rookie.
Yeah.
You can keep him. Zeke. Didn't they release Zeke? I think
they did. Yeah, he signed with the. Who did he sign with? He signed with somebody. I can't remember who. It escapes me. But hold on. Let me see who it was.
Yeah. So.
So Ezekiel Elliott is currently signed. Oh, he didn't get picked up by anybody else.
He's a free agent?
He's still a free agent.
Okay.
I thought he got picked up.
So, the mock draft has the Titans picking first. I think it's a tough decision. Will Levis hasn't been playing that good, but he's so young. I think they're going to go Travis Hunter.
I can see
That's
that.
my
I think
prediction.
I saw a story the other day about the GM alluding to the fact that they're not going to hesitate to pick best player available. And so
And
when
Travis
you look,
Hunter's
yeah,
best player
when you look
available.
at all the draft picks overall, Travis Hunter's probably the best pick.
They're hyping all the Shador Malik neighbors up because they were playing catch in the parking lot.
At the Heisman ceremony, yeah. I don't think that's happening now, though, with how low the Giants are picking.
No, they're not picking low.
They're picking in.
They're picking 3.
Are they 3? Okay. I thought they were a little low. Excuse me. Oh, no, that's the Cowboys I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the mock draft has Cam Ward going to the Titans.
Okay.
Browns picking Travis, and then the Shador going to the Giants.
Gotcha.
I'm not worried about the Giants at this point, though. Shador's this QB class. You never know. This QB class can be good. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be good.
No matter what, the Giants are going to be rebuilding next year, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't have a quarterback.
Well, they will.
Yeah, but if anything, it'll be a rookie.
Yeah.
Unless they sign a free agent, but...
And then you have Malik Neighbors. He's really good. If he got injured, and I think he still actually put up 1,000 yards, and he was injured for like 5 games.
Then the good news is Jerry Jones isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We hope. Cross your fingers. We want Jerry Jones to live to be 130, right?
So
Good. Well, we'll see how it goes. So, all right. So wrapping up for tomorrow, we are hoping for Eagles-Bills, but we're thinking it's going to be a rematch, Eagles-Chiefs,
yeah,
which wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't mind getting some revenge after that first Super Bowl.
we're way better than that first Super Bowl.
You know what's going to happen too is
What?
I think Hurts is going to be the first time. I think Hurts is going to be. He might be the first one to do it if he wins tomorrow, to lose his first appearance in the Super Bowl and make it back to another one.
Yeah.
I think that is a stat. I'm not positive. We'll
Nice.
have to check on that, but that would be awesome,
Yep.
and that just adds to
The goodness of the Eagles winning.
why he gets so
why,
much hate.
yeah.
You know, he could be the first quarterback to do that.
Yep.
Come on. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Look ahead to Royal Rumble, maybe? 'Cause I don't know
Yeah.
if we're going to get another one in before Royal Rumble next week.
Yeah, Royal Rumble. It's
How you
hard
feeling
to
about that?
I think it's gonna be good. WWE hasn't been talking about it a lot. They just been declaring people.
Yeah.
I want CM Punk to win. I'm just gonna say that.
I would love to see him finally get his chance to main event a WrestleMania night and be in a world title match.
And why do I feel like Drew McIntyre, for some reason, is gonna win a title, World Heavyweight title, and it's gonna be CM Punk, Drew McIntyre in the main event. Like, to get
Maybe.
his revenge, because he's the one who wiped him out of the WrestleMania last year.
Yeah. Who knows? Mm-hmm. How do you get from Gunther to Drew McIntyre with the title? Unless Jay wins.
Yeah, and then Jay's in a feud with Drew McIntyre right now. You remember?
And maybe that's how what you just said.
Yeah,
comes to
I think it
fruition.
was on Raw and Netflix, the premiere.
Yeah.
They did it.
That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble, my favorite event outside of WrestleMania. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Always some surprises. So we'll see what happens. It's one of the most stacked Royal Rumbles ever. You got CM Punk in there. You got John Cena in there.
Roman
you got
Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
You have Seth Rollins.
Drew McIntyre. Yep. You're gonna have probably Randy Orton come back.
Yeah.
I hope. Who knows? It's gonna be an awesome Rumble.
Yeah.
That's one of the most fun things is when you go into a Rumble and you're just like, oh man, I have no idea.
Who do you think's gonna win the women's?
That's a hard question. I think it'll be Charlotte Flair. They just announced on SmackDown last night that she's coming back at the Royal Rumble. So I think she's gonna. I think it's like 99% sure that it's. I
don't think she's gonna win.
Well, maybe not, but I definitely think it's gonna be her and Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For the title. Whether or not she wins the Rumble to get that opportunity, I don't know.
I feel like always when someone wins the Elimination Chamber, it just always goes to the World Heavyweight or the Raw Championship. You know what I mean?
It depends. You know, things are so weird now because now, you know,
SmackDown's
was
kind of getting
that was the number one show for so long, and now of
Raw's
course,
on Netflix, and Raw had that like.
And they're paying $5 billion, so they're gonna give them as much as they can. $7 billion
it is.
Oh, total? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. Who do you got winning the women's?
It's gonna be tough. Liv Morgan, I think in the last 2 Rumbles, she's actually made it to the top 2. She was the final 2 left, and she got eliminated. So you think
they run it back with Liv and Rhea at WrestleMania?
No, they didn't do it at WrestleMania, but I don't think they're gonna. Right. I don't think.
No, but I know not. I don't mean like a WrestleMania rematch. I just think like they just had a few.
I don't think they're gonna set that up though. I think it's gonna be Becky Lynch.
I do think she'll return.
Becky Lynch will return. What do I feel?
So you think they'll do a Becky Rhea rematch?
No. Why do I'm not saying that she's gonna win. Why do I think it's gonna be Becky and Charlotte Flair left? Like to give everybody flashbacks of WrestleMania 36, or I think it was 30.
Some nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good final 2.
Yeah, so I'll take Charlotte Flair too.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then what about the WWE title match at Royal Rumble with the ladder match?
I have Cody winning. I think they should hang both titles too.
Oh, I think they probably will.
And Kevin will end up getting the older one too.
I don't know about that. I think whoever wins is going to end up having both titles.
And I think Shawn Michaels is going to be front row, and he's going to hand it to Shawn Michaels.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, well, Shawn Michaels is one of the main guys to hold the Winged Eagle title.
Yeah.
He was the last one to hold it.
Yeah.
Before, well, technically Stone Cold held it only for like a night after he beat Shawn Michaels. And so that makes sense why he's involved in the contract signing now with the whole Winged
Cody wins and he hands it to him.
The whole Winged Eagle thing. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, see, I remember I was like, how are they factoring Shawn Michaels into this? But now that it all makes sense. I forgot about that.
I don't know a lot about the old days like you.
Yeah, but you'll learn. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's gonna win that. I could see Kevin Owens winning.
Yeah, I can.
I could. I could see them doing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the title at WrestleMania.
No, not Sami. The Sami Zayn's not going to be involved in that big of a match.
Maybe.
Yeah, they don't. Sami Zayn.
It'd be cool.
I don't think. Yeah, it would be cool.
But I think it depends on what the plans are with Cody. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not sure.
Because Cody beat him the last 2 times. Yep. So he'll probably want a rematch after.
It's looking like The Rock's not going to be involved in anything.
Yeah.
So
unless he makes an entrance at the Royal Rumble. Imagine if it's like John Cena, The Rock, and CM Punk in the same ring. And if Randy Orton returns.
That would be awesome. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty wild. Who knows? It'll be fun, though.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one.
Back when John Cena started wrestling, Rock still had the hair.
He did.
He was young.
Barely, but he had some.
The Rock and John Cena are kind of closer in age than you would expect.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they only have maybe 5 years apart,
yep.
I think. If that.
Yep.
Not sure. Cool. All right. Well, this was fun.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to our next one.
Yep.
Make sure you write down your notes.
Yep.
And we'll get this thing uploaded and see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right.